CCP is a criminal pretending to be the good guy. Wang Yi made the brazen announcement that Communist China launched a global data security initiative.
The CCP's embassy in India issued a statement requiring all passengers entering China to submit negative virus testing results.
Li Chengdong said, Huawei invested hundreds of millions of RMB in the Hongmeng OS, which can achieve 70 to 80% of Android's function.
Baidu's stock plunged after being targeted by class action lawsuits in the US.
That land is not an inheritance from ancestors but a collective asset. In mainland China, everything belongs to the CCP.
9 major food production bases in Communist China were all hit by natural disasters.
The Northeast, which is a major food production area, suffered heavy losses in rice production. The rice crops are all destroyed. More than 30 acres are all like this. Look at the rice. The rice must be washed after being harvested. These 3 days will be raining day. So isn't the rice going to be germinate?
On September 8, Typhoon Haishen landed in Jilin province and caused huge flooding. Vehicles' roofs were almost submerged, and people had difficulty going outdoors. They faced life-threatening dangers at any moment.
CCP urban management atrocity. Is there anyone still avoiding street vending? Civilization is broken everywhere in this country. In Chongqing, this urban management coolly oppress and exploit the common people. They indiscriminately abuse the weak but don't know where their rights come from.
Mongolians were arrested in front of the Education Bureau for demanding Mongolian language teaching. The official came to the herdsman's house and asked to sign the consent. They were rejected by the herdsman.
CCP shameless publicity. Constantly Mongolia teaching is for the good of children in a hypercritical way. It is to promote the use of a nationally unified Chinese teaching material. Meanwhile, we understand FIG's concerns and also truly feel every of us a deep love for the nation and the Mongolia. We love more those little boys and girls who run freely on the grassland. Because of this deep love, we should understand that parents who love their children should plan for them a far-reaching education.
The evil CCP poisoned the world. However, while people around the world still die of infection, and while the situation is still critical, the CCP has begun to brag shamelessly about its so-called achievements in fighting the pandemic. May we ask, where is Dr. Li Wenliang? How did he die?
China has detained up to 1 million people. Before a meal, we have to say Long Live Xi Jinping and learn songs about Mao Zedong and others in Kansa. They are also forced to memorize state leaders' speeches and sing Communist Party songs, and those who resist may face forced labor, solitary confinement and beating. Re-education camp target ethnic minority groups that are predominantly Muslim. People can be detained for growing a abnormal beard, wearing a hat scarf, praying, avoid alcohol, owning books about Islam, having traveled abroad, or having relatives overseas. This is where they keep the religion's people. This is where they keep the people who travel overseas, and the situation is getting worse. Those detained cannot communicate with their relatives. Family of the missing are desperate for news. Grace's sister went missing.
India reported more than 90,000 COVID-19 cases on a Sunday alone, setting yet another global daily record. The grim milestone came just 3 days after the country confirmed over 80,000 cases last Thursday. In fact, the country is set to surpass Brazil, becoming the second most affected country by total infections. In Mexico, there are so many new COVID-19 deaths, the country has no more death certificates left. Mexico registered over 67,000 COVID-19 fatalities as of Saturday. That's the fourth highest behind the US, Brazil, and India. The situation in the UK is not any better. Nearly 3,000 new cases were reported on Sunday, the largest daily figure since May.
Of China's biggest chip maker, SMIC, plunging more than 20% in Hong Kong as the Trump administration considers restrictions on the company. The move would bar American companies from selling products and technology to the firm, the same sanction as the US imposed on Huawei.
We're way ahead on the nuclear front. We've upgraded our nuclear. Hope to God we never have to use it. But we would be in a position that we are not in right now. But China's spending the money we give them to build up their military. So when you mention the word decouple, it's an interesting word. So we lose billions of dollars, and if we didn't do business with them, we wouldn't lose billions of dollars. It's called decoupling, so you'll start thinking about it. You'll start thinking. They take our money and they spend it on building airplanes and building ships and building rockets. And China's been very bad. On top of which we had the China plague sent to us. And other viruses, nothing near this serious, but the swine. We had other viruses sent in over the years that came from China.
The president talks about decoupling from China. Good idea?
Absolutely a good idea. You know, China is configuring its military to kill Americans. We should not be enriching a hostile Chinese regime with our trade and with our investment. So I believe that decoupling is what we absolutely have to do. Especially this year, we saw China try to threaten to cut off pharmaceuticals and medical protective gear to the United States if we didn't behave.
China seems to be developing the ability to project power all around the world. Now, it says, hey, the United States can do that. We should be able to do that, too. Do you see it that way?
Well, I don't, John, because, you know, the United States defends the current international system. China is trying to overthrow it. China is trying to close off the global commons. We try to keep it open for everybody. And China is trying to dismember its neighbors from India to Japan. So it's disrupting peace and stability in the region. We're trying to maintain it. It's a very, very different objectives that we have.
And they have in China this worldview that suggests that they believe that they are kind of the only legitimate world power. Is that right?
Yeah, Xi Jinping has been talking increasingly about this Tianxia notion, the notion that China has the mandate of heaven to rule the entire world. They not only have the right to do it, they have the obligation to do it. He's become very specific about this in public, and so have his officials, which means they are trying to change the international system, not to compete with it.
I just want to be very precise in asking you a question. Is it your belief that the Wuhan virus, or the CCP virus, what we call it, this scourge that's gone throughout the world, and now the analysts at the University of Washington in Seattle have just projected, it's been drudged on all weekend, that 400,000 American citizens in their projections, with a second wave that will hit us in the fall of this year, in the coming couple of weeks and months, 400,000 Americans, if we don't lock down again, which we can't lock down again, will be dead. So I want to be very specific, because our audience is all over us about asking this question. Is what happened in Wuhan, did it come from the fresh market? Did it just come from the Batwoman, the Dr. Batwoman? Did it come from there? Or was this part of a biological weapons program overseen by the Chinese Communist Party and the People's Liberation Army? Sir.
Sir, my Steve Kimball, sir. I talk a lot. Same 3 years ago, I say America and the West world, you need to prepare. CCP, the block, this glut is coming your blood, coming your sky. You need to prepare. 9 months ago, I talked to you, an American friend. You must be prepared. This is the CCP. It's man-made. It's not from nature. This is the people to people. America, maybe more people to die. Maybe million people get infected. Everything's happened. Now, I can guarantee you again. It's 100% found. It's CCP PLA. It's a biological weapon. You listen to Dr. Yan. Also, I have a lot inside intelligent people talking me is the program. Sir, don't forget, Milesguo is the #1 CCP enemy. CCP try 2 billion cash, 100 billion asset, send me back to China. You look at the DOJ the document. They can evidence. See Milesguo last 3 years, see everything is true. I'm not a crazy guy. I'm not a reaper, not a criminal. Same with the Pompeo, not a criminal, not a crazy. We just because to take down the CCP. We want the American know the truth. They scared us. They angry us. On the other hand, Sir Stephen Kimbano, we must be fair. Talk about the CCP, the evil. They is to make the biological weapon, put the word, go to the lockdown, close down. How do you think? Nearly 9 months, all the global is locked down. Why? Because America, the dollar, go to China, make the CCP. 19 years, 1.3 trillion GDP, now it's 14 trillion dollars the GDP. It's by American dollars, by American Wall Street, by American media.
With the song A Roar of the Vast Ocean and another one, Take Down the CCP, created by the most renowned rock and roll singer and producer in Hollywood, which we just released, we have started taking down the CCP with songs. Cultural movements are more powerful than nuclear weapons when it comes to taking down the political party, when former USSR collapsed from within. A few of the main reasons were rock and roll, jeans, and Coca-Cola. Our G Fashion and G Club, A Roar of the Vast Ocean, and Take Down the CCP, as well as our GTV, G News. History is repeating itself in a way. What's different this time is that this time the quality, level, as well as the extent of impact on the fate of mankind and the world are unprecedented. And I find myself in Manhattan today. My heart is filled with all sorts of emotions. 180 days. Many people get through 180 days very easily. But ask yourself, were there anything in the last 180 days that made you feel proud? Were there anything actually created by you, other than words? When I returned to Manhattan, the streets are almost empty. On everyone's face, there were expressions of fear and terror. Now, even more people have awakened to the fact that CCP is the origin of all disasters, the Chinese Communist Party. The city I love the most is Manhattan. When I see the U.S. has fallen so much, my heart felt true sorrow. Yesterday, from when I returned to the city to late in the evening, I slept for less than 3 hours, constantly meeting people, until now. I have not stopped working. I feel both very excited and sad, for I bear great responsibilities. When I heard and saw so many Americans waking up, when I witnessed the depression and fear from Manhattan, Communist Party, your days are truly over. CCP, you are truly over. It's impossible for you to have any future now. When I shared my song and received responses, this power is just too great. A roar of the vast ocean is a Chinese song. Every American who heard it were singing along to the melody. Everyone sang along. Everyone could sing the lyrics. This is the power of our brothers and sisters. This is the power to take down the CCP. All heroes who will take down the CCP have assembled.
Egypt coronavirus cases top 100,000. Hong Kong to relax social distancing measures from Friday. Taj Mahal to reopen even as the virus rages in India. South Korea's Celltrion to begin commercial production of COVID-19 antibody drug. A team of experts on food contamination says it is highly unlikely that food is a source of COVID-19 transmission. Last 2 journalists working for Australian media leave China. Japan to tap emergency reserve for $6.3 billion for coronavirus vaccines. United Airlines will add international flights to cities in Mexico, Central America, and South America. Stock futures wobble amid tech slide as S&P Nasdaq snap 5-week win streak.